A rough way to finish out the opening series for the Vandyboys. We're going to talk about it. Is it time to overreact? I don't think so. But we are live.
You are Locked On Vandy, your daily podcast on the Vanderbilt Commodores. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into a live edition of the Locked On Vandy podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. I'm your host, Corey Burton. And on today's episode, we're going to talk baseball. The opening series just wrapped. Vanderbilt, disappointing finish. They finished the series 1-2, and each game went completely differently. So we're going to talk about each of those. What does it mean? What did we learn about this team throughout the course of the series? Bullpen, we'll talk about that. That was shaky and volatile. The lineup, although several guys hit extremely well, there's still some issues there, but starting pitching was amazing. We're going to talk about all of that plus more and your comments here on this live edition of the Locked On Vandy podcast. It's a Vandyboys edition of the Locked On Podcast Network, and it is brought to you by Mazda. We put that same drive into every detail. Wins define the moment. Putting in the work, that defines you. Stay tuned for highlights in this week's Moving the Game Forward. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you. Now, where do we begin? Okay. Now, overall, this series, it was meant to get off to a great start. You had two phenomenal teams going off against each other, TCU, Vanderbilt, and that game went as expected for the most part. Now, I think you, just like me, was expecting a Vanderbilt win, and we had that in the bag, but that game showed you that two great teams can't compete together. One small mistake meant the difference in that game, and it ruined what was a beautiful game for Colin Barzey, hitting three bombs, three moonshots into the second deck in a pitcher-friendly park for MLB standards. And it ruined, I think, or it put a damper on Connor Fennell's very, very outstanding start and debut to the season. So that game was it was a battle between two great teams. Someone had to win it. TCU came out on top, and as you saw from TCU, they dismantled Arkansas. And I don't know what the result was today, but I'm assuming that they did win. I didn't check it out, and not really interested to see. But nonetheless, they're a team that's projected to go to Arkansas. So that was game one. It was a hard fought. We're like, okay, if you're going to lose one, lose it like that to a great team. Move forward. The next day, you need to bounce back. You start slow. It's a morning game after a late afternoon game. A little bit of sluggishness, but then the bats just ignite. Brody Johnston hit 2 home runs, and it just seemed like everybody was fighting to get to the bat rack. 13-3, you win in the 8th inning with a run rule, and it was one of those games where you felt good about the lineup. You felt good about the run support. You felt good about what Austin Nye was able to do from a pitching perspective. He pitched 4 innings, beautiful innings. The bullpen came in and did its job, and everything was on the up and up. Felt good coming out of Saturday, 13-3. The bats came alive. Pitching was good. Bullpen held it together. Austin Nye looked brilliant for his short run, 4 innings, and things were looking good. Coming into Sunday, got Oklahoma State. It's a 10:30 a.m. First pitch, and you feel good about it. First inning rolls by. Nate Taylor sits him down 1-2-3. He's the new transfer from Georgia. He looks strong, and then the bottom just fell out. And you get run ruled 11-1. Your bullpen completely falls apart. Your bats never arrived. No one in the lineup did anything really. And it was just one of those games where you just got crushed. I guess that happens from time to time in college baseball. Everyone is a victim to that. But when you're a team that's vying for Omaha, it's not good when everything is so volatile. But the thing is, what do we learn from all of that? That's the recap. But when you look at the way those 3 games went, they couldn't have gone any more differently. And there was little clues here and there, but for the most part, I don't think we really learned anything because we knew Connor Fennell, Austin Nye were going to be great. We weren't sure exactly what Nate Taylor was going to be, but we knew he was going to be solid. We knew he had good stuff coming over from Georgia. We weren't sure how he was going to be as a weekend starter. And he comes over, he pitches well. But the starting pitching was not really a surprise, so we didn't really learn anything about that. We just confirmed our belief that our starting pitching was good. The hitters, well, we confirmed that Brody Johnston, we confirmed Holcomb, we confirmed Barzy were sluggers. So, and we got names for them: Hulk Smash, Barzy Bombs, and Brody Barrels. 3 great nicknames, by the way. So we that was not a surprise. We knew those 3 guys could hit. Now, what did we learn? Well, we learned that the questions are still very much questions. We have a volatile bullpen, and we have the bottom of the lineup that just, for whatever reason, just haven't turned it on. And I still stand behind my assertion that Jason Esposito was the right hire coming over from the Cleveland Guardians. I do think the approach overall at the plate has been good. The production, you could say it matched it. You hit 8 home runs in 17 innings, and then the bats go silent, and it's like, okay, what happened? We bragged about you. What happened, right? So, obviously it's a long season, and there's a lot of baseball left to be played. So I'm not ready to hit the panic button just yet, but you get into a scenario where you do worry because Brody Barrels, Hulk Smash, and Barzy Bombs, if any one of those 3 go cold, are you going to produce any runs? Is your starter, if any one of those 3 guys go cold, is your starter going to have to go 9 innings and not give up any runs in order to win? Are you going to waste a quality start? Right? Those are the worries. Those are the concerns that you have. Obviously, I don't love that Colin Barzy made a throwing error on a simple throw. But it's a weird angle that sometimes as a catcher, that throw, and I played first base through high school. And I know on the other end of that type of throw, it can get kind of awkward. And I don't know that Colin Barzy gave himself the avenue to make that throw, and he just missed it. And that sucks, and it was costly. But overall, my concern with that, I don't want to do it again, but what are your concerns? What are the biggest things concerning you as Vanderbilt baseball fans coming out of this series? You got the home opener against Eastern Michigan on Tuesday. What would you like to see there? What are your concerns? What will make you feel better about this team moving forward? For me, it's finding that consistency. It's getting that production out of the bottom of your lineup. Base hits, guys getting around, things like that. Driving the baseball, good approach at the plate. I just felt like our approach was off on Sunday. I felt like it kind of felt like we were like, okay, we can hit home runs. Well, let's go hit home runs, right? And it just kind of felt like we kind of fell into that trap. So it's just got to be back to basics. Lean on your 3 guys. Lean on Barzy, Johnston, and Holcomb. Let's see what we got. We got Brody, we got Braden Holcomb, we got Colin Barzy, and let's build around that, right? Let's see where and of course, Tim Corbin is tinkering with the lineup a little bit, trying to figure out what the best fit is, who's the best leadoff guy, who fits where, and there's some guys that he needs some answers for. And some of these midweek games early on could be those scenarios, right? Where does Rustin Rigdon fit? I think he's a solid piece, but where does he fit? And how does he fit into this lineup? That's a question that's going to be answered. What other production are you going to get from your infielders? What other consistent performances are you going to get from your infielders, right? Those are the things that need to be answered. Those are the questions that I have for this team. So what do we learn? Well, we learned that consistency is not there. We learned that the bullpen, they were shaky. They have great, I think they have some great arms. I think they have some good talent out there in the bullpen. Bullpen is just shaky by nature. The nature of the position is shaky. So we need some guys mentality-wise that come in and can transcend that a little bit, can come in and slam the door. We need to find a bullpen ace, a guy that you can call on in the 6th or 7th inning and say, all right, go get it. Go shut it down. Get to our closer. We need 2 to 3 guys that can bridge the gap between our starters and our closers, because we know Tim Corbin's not going to let the starters go deep unless it's a special occasion, postseason, what have you. So you got to find 3 bullpen guys that can bridge the gap from the 6th inning to the 9th inning till you can get to your closer. And that's what we got to do. But your comments, we're live, so make sure you drop your comments. Let me know what you think. If anyone out there made the trip, let me know. But, I mean, like I said, is it concerning? Yes. It's concerning. Is it stage 5 panic? No. It's too early for that. I think it's too early for panic. But we're going to talk about starting pitching, how excited I am about our starting pitching. We're going to talk about that next. Hey, first I want to talk to you about Indeed. Workplace chaos, deadlines stacking up, inbox overflowing, and the one position you have to fill is still sitting open. When the pressure's on and you need to make the right hire, this is the job for you. Sponsored jobs. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for with skills, experience, location. So you're not just hoping the right candidate just stumbles across your post. And here's a stat that says it all. In the minute that I've been talking to you, companies like yours have made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Spend less time searching, more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes, less stress, less time, more results. And when you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is the job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. And for listeners of this show, you will get $75 in sponsored job credits to help you get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed right here on this podcast. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Also, if you're an everydayer, just step it right on up. Get to the next level. Level up. Become a member of the Everydayers Club. You get ad-free audio. Can't beat that. Maybe you're just walking down the street, cruising around the grocery store, what have you. You're listening to the show. It's ad-free. You can't go wrong there. Also, you get members-only access to a Discord channel. If you're into that kind of online community type thing where you go in and that's for you, right? And there's so many other perks there that if you join, you'll have to join to find out what those are. But the Everydayers Club is the place for you. So make sure you click this link in the show notes. It's right here also on the screen if you want to type it the old-fashioned way, lockedonvandy.supercast.com. Make sure you join the Everydayer Club today. Thank you for making Locked On Vandy your first listen each and every day. Thank you for making Locked On number one. Again, we are talking baseball, talking the Shriners. College baseball showdown is a disappointing way to end it. You felt so good coming off a Saturday and just to get stomped. Even if you went 1-2, but the third game was a lot like the first game, like you could it wouldn't feel quite as bad or quite as dire, or like I'm seeing people out there comparing Tim Corbin to Dabo right now, where he was once a great coach, but he's not a great coach anymore. It's passed him by. I don't necessarily subscribe to all that. I don't necessarily believe all that just yet, but something's got to change. Something's got to give for this team. But I think the foundation right now, I think the best place to start is to, get your weekend rotation, because I think you're this close to nailing it. Connor Fennell, Austin Nye. I think Nate Taylor looked good. Unfortunately, he had 2 earned runs that were credited to him when he left the game. There was 2 guys on base. Kranzler gave them up, but they were charged to Nate Taylor, fairly or unfairly, however you feel about that. That's baseball. But nonetheless, I think we do have something there. Now we just need to find a bullpen ace or 2. If we can find a bullpen ace or 2 that can take care of the 7th and 8th innings, all we need to really do is find that 6th inning guy, or hopefully our starters can take us through the 6th at least, so we can get to 7, 8, and 9. Well, I'd like sometimes for our starter to go 9, just to give our bullpen a rest. I don't know. But I think we have a great foundation in starting pitching. So I think obviously that's where you start. We knew that heading into the season, and I'm very excited about the direction of that. I think we have some talent. We'll see some of the midweek guys emerge when we start playing midweek games. So I'm excited about that. I'm not sure exactly who those guys are going to be. That'll be, well, I guess we'll find out against Eastern Michigan on Tuesday for the home opener. But this team's got some promise. This team's got some talent. This team's got the thing is, in your comments, like I said, we're live. So your comments, if you want to join in. But one thing that is exciting, one thing that we can build on as well, is you got 3 good power hitters. That's a starting point. Is it ideal to go 1 and 2 in your first 3 games? No, it's not ideal. But you have something. It's not completely hopeless. It's not a great way to end your Sunday. It put a damper on it. But Colin Barzy, I think, is going to be a very talented hitter. Hopefully he can just tighten up a little bit behind the plate and keep the errors in check a little bit. You have Braden Holcomb and you have Brody Johnston. 3 really good, solid hitters that just tear the cover off the ball, right? And you can tell this team is different with their approach at the plate. You can tell that they're looking for certain pitches. You can tell even when the ball doesn't leave the yard, they're still hitting it hard for the most part. Now, I don't know what happened Sunday, but for just the overall big picture, there's some promise there. There's some things that you can look for and say, okay, we've got something. Now we just need 6 other guys to step up and do something, right? Get your leadoff guy on base, get him around. Maybe you got to find guys at the bottom of the lineup that'll get on base, that can steal, that can do some things, that can play a little bit of small ball, and just be on base when Barzy comes up, be on base when Brody Johnston comes up, and be on base when Braden Holcomb is up to the plate, right? Because those guys will drive you in. And they'll probably drive you in a way that where you don't have to actually run. You can just trot because they'll hit a home run. But there's some promise there. And I like the hire of Jason Esposito. You can tell there's something different about this team. They just haven't put it together yet. And the key word's consistency. They've got to build that. They've got to find that. And that's going to be the key to this. And it ends up, and obviously, sometimes it takes the season ending on a sour note, but if you can find that consistency, if you can find guys night in and night out that can hit the baseball, if you find guys that can get on base and be a nuisance, I think at least 2 of your games on the weekend, you have pitchers that can keep those totals down. You have two pitchers to where you can feel fairly comfortable scoring only 4 or 5 runs. Whereas in college baseball, most of the time you need 8, 9, 10 runs to win a baseball game, at the least. When Fennell's on the mound or Nye is on the mound, you may only need 4. You may only need 5. That's what our starting pitching can provide to this team. And if they can consistently put out those outputs, and not get shut out, not go completely blank, I think you have a chance to really make a run. And if you can somehow figure this out before conference play, you can be hell in conference play. But you got to figure it out now. And this is the time to do it. And if you look at the team last year compared to this year, it's different. I think there's more promise there. I think your approach is better. I don't think guys are confused up there. I think sometimes maybe they got overconfident a little bit, hitting 8 home runs in 17 innings. But that's something that can be fixed. And reps, something that can be fixed, right? And so I'm again, consistency is the biggest key. I'm encouraged as much as you can be coming off a 1-2 series that ended on a sour note. But I'm not ready to pull the plug yet. But I'm more positive than most. I feel like I have more confidence than most. So maybe there's that. So we played a weak team, did not get the first hit. What was the reason for keeping Faulkner in there and watch him walk one after he was pitiful? Yeah, that was brutal to watch. And I'm gonna get to that here in just a second. Why the bullpen issues are why that's probably the most concerning thing. That right there. We'll talk about that next. All right, Mazda's moving the game forward. For those who show more, there's more to the score than what's on the screen. I think you have to kind of make it co-MVP type of situation, right? Colin Barzy, Brody Johnston, each coming out of the series with 3 home runs apiece, hitting extremely well. Otherwise, I think these two guys really kind of set the tone for the lineup. Hopefully, at some point, the rest of the lineup will respond to each of these guys. But I thought coming out of this tournament, they had a very good showing. And when you look at high notes to look back on and say, okay, well, there's hope because you could say there's hope because Brody Johnston and Colin Barzy are in the lineup. So for that reason, these things remind us of what it really takes to raise the bar. It's that extra work off the court, dialing in every detail, giving it that extra fire, that grit, that I never quit attitude. It's also that extra work off the diamond as well, for those of you keeping score at home. But we put that same passion into every model. Highlights make the reel, and what it took to get there makes it count. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you. All right. Now, FanDuel. Who likes to bet on FanDuel? I know I do. FanDuel is a lot of fun. So if you ever wanted to experience the NBA Finals live and in person, FanDuel is giving you the chance to turn that dream into a reality with their NBA sweepstakes. Here's how it works. Use your profit boost on any NBA future, and you'll automatically be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for 2. That's right. Flights, tickets, the whole experience. And if you're already looking at the board and thinking about which team can make a deep run, this is the perfect time to lock it in. I love futures this time of the year, whether it's picking a team to win the championship or grab a conference title. It adds that extra layer of excitement to every game down the stretch. And now, not only can your pick cash, but it could also send you to the final. So visit FanDuel.com to get started. Use your profit boost on an NBA future to get entered for your chance to win a trip to the NBA Finals. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, now back to this comment. Thank you for making Locked On Vandy your first listen. Thank you for joining, and Paul, thank you for joining into this show right here at Locked On Vandy. If you want to follow along on all social media platforms, that presence is growing, so make sure you get involved there. But man, that was brutal for Faulkner, man, and I don't know why he was kept out there. You have to pull the plug at some point. 6 runs was unbelievable. I mean, it was just it's like he was throwing BP, right? And here's what you said here. We did hit 4 home runs in the first game. They were all solo. Need to play some guys off the bench, see if they can get on base. Yeah, I agree there. Find guys that can get off the base, that can get on base. That's that consistency that we're looking for, right? Same with this. You have guys that are struggling getting on the base. You have guys that are struggling on the mound coming out of the bullpen. Like, hey, let's get this thing going here, right? And he was just throwing meatballs up there, and they were just crushing it, right? It's just all around. Sunday's game was pretty pitiful, pretty bad. It's a sour note, right? I'm not ready to panic yet, but it was sour, and it was one of those games where you're just like, what? Okay, we just ran Texas Tech out of the building, and Texas Tech's not a bad team. Texas Tech is not a bad team. They're not great by any stretch, but they're not bad. They can. I'm curious to see what they do in the Big 12, but yeah, I mean, I'm thinking we're going to see some changes. I'm thinking he's going to look at the bottom of the lineup and go, yeah, you guys aren't getting on base. So there's going to be some new guys in there. There's going to be, I think you're going to see some of those changes. I mean, he's already tinkered with the lineup a little bit, the order, but now you just like, let's see some different guys in there. Eastern Michigan is a great place to really try that theory out, I guess, if you will. But these are some great points, right? And let's see who can give us a productive seventh inning from the bullpen. Let's see at some point if Faulkner can bounce back and have a good outing. I'm not ready to throw the towel in on Faulkner, but good Lord, that was bad. That was some like Grady Little, Bobby Cox type stuff where you're just like, he's just letting this guy get crushed and knocked around. That was kind of bad. But overall, I think this team still has a lot of stuff out in front of it, despite going 1-2. In baseball, luckily, there's still a ton of baseball left. There's still things to do and things to accomplish. So with that, you can draw a little bit of hope. But the thing I want to leave you guys with is this: what do you want to see against Eastern Michigan? I want to know what you want to see against Eastern Michigan to make you kind of feel like we're heading in the right direction. For me, I want to see a couple of new guys in the lineup. I want to see what they can do, like Maldonado at first. I want to see some 6th, 7th, 8th inning guys emerge. I want to see that bullpen rotation take shape. At least find you your next reliever, that your first guy that's coming in the game. At least find that guy who you like the most. Is it Kranzler? I don't know. He kind of struggled. He kind of struggled today. Is it Guth? I don't know. Who's gonna, where do we stand? Right? That's what I want to see. I want to see some of these questions answered. I want to see guys get on base. I want to see 2-3 run home runs. I want to see the leadoff guy get on base. I want to see some steals. I want to see an aggressive style of baseball. I want to see us just cut loose and get after it, right? And I want to see us exactly, Paul. I couldn't have said it better myself. You took the words right out of my mouth. I love it, right? You are on the same wavelength, Paul. I like it. So I want to see that. I want to see guys on base. I want to see bullpens coming in sharp and ready to get guys out. I want to see some animals come in out of the bullpen. Like I want to see some dude that's like a psycho coming out of the bullpen and just mow him down. 1, 2, 3. Right? Somebody has a nasty splitter. I can't remember the name of the dude. I saw some highlights. I want to see that guy again. I can't remember his name for the life of me. I retweeted something on X about him. I think Aria actually made some tweet about this guy and showed a couple of his pitches and said some words about him. I can't remember who that was. With 30 seconds left, I'm not really going to look him up, but I'll be sure to mention him next time I talk baseball. Like maybe he's your guy. Maybe he's your setup guy or your, whatever role you want to give him. That dude had some nasty stuff, right? And he came in, I think, on Saturday and slammed the door on Texas Tech. So that's something I want to see. Those are things I want to see. But what did you think? Are you ready to hit the panic button? What do you want to see against Eastern Michigan in the home opener? What do you want to see moving forward to make yourself feel better about this team's chances at making a run through a regional to a super regional and possibly Omaha. I don't know where we're at with that. We've got a lot of work to do if we want to say that word, Omaha, but it's still out there, and there's some things to foundational to make yourself lean on, but got to see those things in action. Got to see guys get on base. Got to see the bullpen come in and slam the door. Those are the two most important things for me. You fix those things, I think the rest of it kind of takes care of itself. Starting pitching is a great foundation. Your three guys, yeah, Nadu, yeah, that guy. Thank you. Coming in clutch, dude. Paul, you're the man. All right. Yeah, 6'6", 250, throwing 98. That's the dude I want to see. Just comes in and just takes over the freaking game. That's going to be a name. Learn this name. I'm going to learn this name. Nadu. Will Nadu, I think is his name. Learn that name because that's going to be a guy that we point to and go, okay, there's your first guy out the pen. He's going to come in bases loaded, not giving a single you-know-what, and just mow him down. That's the kind of guy I want right there. And we're going to end on that. Like I said, you've got some assignments. Leave me some comments. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're going to continue to talk baseball. We'll talk some football stuff. I know recruiting-wise, Clark Lee he's in it with a lot of great 4-stars. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the basketball game, the basketball team. They're 21-4. They had a great Saturday. Tyler Nickel was phenomenal. A.K.O. Kirke was also equally that's phenomenal. So we'll talk about that this week. Plus more baseball. So stay tuned. Keep it locked. Locked on Vandy. Make sure you join the Everydayers Club as well. And we'll catch you back next time. As always, anchor down. Peace.